Welcome to another program of Lagos State Transportation Agenda, a program designed to give you full details and information about the recent development in transportation sector. My name is Shaba Moses. Today, we'll be talking about a lot of issues, pressing issues, especially with the tourism sector, coming right here to achieve a lot of information and to see how both of them work hand in hand, transportation and tourism. And with me, I have a beautiful guest in the house today. But let's go on this short break. Then when we come back, I'll introduce our guest. Please stay with us.
Great economies are built on good transportation network. This is why Lagos State Government through LAMATA has been working tirelessly to enhance the state's transport infrastructure and implement the Strategic Transport Master Plan (STMP) for Lagos and create a world-class transport network for the metropolis. The STMP would deliver 6 rail lines, 1 monorail, 14 BRT routes, 26 water transport routes, 3 cable car routes, and several road interventions to promote the integration of the transport modes. When all these projects are completed, there will be lower emission, leading to better health for all, lower road crashes, better quality of life, and faster economic growth. With the BRT already running in some corridors, jetties being upgraded, and rail line from Okokomaiko to CMS coming on board soon, life of Lagosians in the face of Lagos is changing every day. A healthier and more prosperous Lagos is in the making, and LAMATA is driving it. LAMATA, keeping Lagos moving.
All right, welcome back. Like I said earlier, we have a beautiful guest in the house. She is an outstanding personality, not just a figure into society. She has done much for our society and the community at large. Permit me to introduce to you our Honourable Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Mrs. Toke Benson Awoyinka. Welcome, ma.
And how are you? I'm
fine. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
You're looking like the culture already.
I'm supposed to represent.
Yeah, sure. You're doing well. It's a beautiful office.
Thank you. The ABS, as you can see, we have pictures, drawings of Lagos. What you have over there is the Fela Museum.
One thing that amazed me so much and amused me, I saw Ayo. I was thinking of dancing with them. Ayo.
We're promoting culture here.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
promoting our heritage. So everything tourism has to show the heritage of Lagos.
That's cool. All right, a quick one. One of the basic reasons why we are here is for us to touch some pressing issues. Tourism and transportation. Do you think transportation can help tourism move in a better, efficient way? Is there connection?
Yes, there's a connectivity, tourism and transportation. For tourism, anywhere you want to go is by transportation. It's either by air, by sea, or by land. Here in Lagos, we have brought it home. There's some initiatives we want to introduce from the airport to the seaport and to our tourist destination sites.
Wow.
So we're partnering with the Ministry of Transport, introducing the lag ride as the official ride of Lagos State Government to transport our passengers after we have received them through a concept called Imagine Lagos. And when I say imagine, it is IMAGING. Imagine Lagos. So from there, we take you from the airport to the seaport to see what we have. So we have our transport system at the Lag Ferry in Lagos Island on the Cowrie Creek. We have locations across the shoreline, basically along the lagoon corridor. We have a lot of islands from Takwa Bay to Ilashe, all the way, little islands all the way to Badagry. And we've thought that rather than all of us converging on the motorway, you can see that the train has been introduced to take you from all the way from Marina to Okokomaiko. We have also thought of the aspect whereby we can use our waterways to transport tourists from Lagos all the way to Badagry. So we're going to introduce tourist boats where tourists will no longer have to go by road to whatever destination they're going to. In the same vein, we can take them on tours of Lagos from those locations on Lagos Island all the way to Ekpe and all the way to Badagry. So we're taking the pressure off our transportation system on the roads. Those are some of the initiatives we're going to be introducing.
Wow, very well said, Ma. Yeah, looking at the initiatives and the agendas, especially this tag you gave it, Imagine Lagos. I'm beginning to think in myself, like, imagine
yes, you're
Lagos.
already
That name, like, imagine Lagos.
Exactly.
So I'll go to Lagos.
So anytime you hear Imagine Lagos, it tempts your mind, and you start to think, what am I going to meet in Lagos? What is going on in Lagos? How is Lagos? We want people to start imagining Lagos and thinking of what they can do in Lagos that they have not thought of before. So, and that goes to local and international. So when the man in Kaduna or the man in Zamfara or Yobe hears Imagine Lagos, he begins to think Lagos is a place where dreams come true. Lagos is a place where people have come to and realized their dreams.
Yeah, Lagos.
So we want the rest of the world to also imagine Lagos and see what Lagos is and what Lagos can be and what Lagos can do for you.
Well, that is quite innovative, and I must commend the initiative itself. You're doing well. All right, now looking at all these ideas and initiatives, they are very cool, they are sweet. Even with the title, Imagine, I can imagine, process many things in my head. But looking at one of the challenges attached with Lagos State has been known with traffic congestion. So is there a way, when all these ideas come to life, definitely you'll be having more patience. And already Lagos leads the statistics of traffic congestion in Nigeria. How do you cope? Is there anything you want to implement to ensure, okay, people, tourists, have good experience and traffic-free road?
Traffic is part of the beauty of tourism. If you're not stuck in traffic, you're not able to assimilate your environment and actually absorb it. So I've been to India. Mumbai is traffic prone. I've been to New York. New York is traffic. I lived in America on 495. Closing time is traffic and rush hour time is traffic. I've been to Hong Kong. The difference between Hong Kong Island and Kowloon Island by road is about 1 hour 30 minutes by road, and it is a 7 minutes journey by the ferry, which is the reason why I said we're going to think more on our water transportation system. And water transport itself is tourism. It helps you also enjoy your environment. It is refreshing when you're on the waterway. And so when I think of congestion and traffic in Lagos, I don't see it as
stress,
an inhibition.
You see it as beauty.
I see it as beauty, because that's the way you can tell if a city is thriving. As much as the traffic underground transportation system is in New York still has traffic congestion. So traffic is synonymous with an imagined and a budding city. And that's what Lagos is.
I just picked something from your explanation now. Life is on its edge. You define your stand in it. So some people will see Lagos traffic as
harassment and stress. But I see it as being able to, there's so much activity that goes on.
Have you been in traffic and you're inside it?
Yes, yes, I have. Everybody grows. If you live in Lagos, you've grown in Lagos.
You must have had that
experience. So when we were young people growing up, I lived in Surulere, we worked in Victoria Island. We would go from Victoria Island. So you guys are lucky now, you have the Third Mainland Bridge. In our days, we knew when the Third Mainland Bridge opened and when it opened all the way to Yaba, and you would all divert. And I was part of the people in that traffic when everybody slept on the Third Mainland Bridge. Nothing like that has happened. I'm sure if something like that happens, the whole internet is going to shut down. In those days, people like us leaving the office in VI were on the bridge. People slept on the bridge. A pregnant woman, if I can remember, had her baby on the bridge. It creates a camaraderie around you when you all find yourself in the same situation. At that time, you could only get off the third mainland bridge at Yaba. The Yaba to Oronshoki end had not been completed. And I think there was a resurfacing going on a co-bridge. So everybody had to come on the third mainland bridge and come down at Yaba. And at that time, Lagos was not so cosmopolitan in the sense that you didn't have business activities in Ikeja, in Oronshoki, in the other parts of Lagos. Everybody left the mainland and went to the marina to work and VI. So everybody at 5 p.m. moved from that end back to this end. A lot has happened in those years. Technology, some people don't even have to go to the workspaces. They can work from home, can work remotely and do everything remotely. You don't even have to go shopping. People now, you can buy online. Everything can be delivered. There's delivery. So all of that has also added color to what is going on in Lagos. So, but because Lagos is a city where everybody in Nigeria wants to come, let's leave the outside world for them. Every Nigerian wants to come to Lagos. Apart from government workers who are in Abuja, every other Nigerian comes to Lagos. I once had a conversation with an Egbo of mine who used to be in the public service. And I said, what are we going to do about the migration into Lagos? He said to me, Toke, if a bomb goes off in Zamfara, everybody gets on the next bus to Lagos. If there's a tsunami somewhere in Osun, everybody's going to get on the bus and come to Lagos. So we cannot stop that net migration into Lagos. Traffic, as far as I'm concerned, is synonymous to a boarding city. And like I said, at a time, England had to introduce congestion charge to stop people from coming into the city center. Maybe we'll start thinking of that too. So maybe say once. And then in those days as well, we used to have the odd and the even number, where if your plate number starts with 2, 4, 6, 8, you would go out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, you could go out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we've actually come a long way.
Oh, this is beautiful. We are still right here with the commissioner herself. We've had a lot of information coming from the commissioner herself. I didn't bargain for all these informations I am getting. I'm beginning to think we'll have another episode, another segment with the commissioner. But right there, I hope you are enjoying this moment. Yes, ma'am. You made mention of something just now that I love. Do you think if they implement that with the tourism package, do you think it's going to be effective?
Which one of the?
This 2, 3, 4. I have to select this, that.
So in those days, I think then we only had the Eco Bridge. So imagine everybody coming to Lagos on the Eco Bridge. And I think our car then was, my dad's car was AKD 456, Ikorodu. And that's 4. So if your plate number starts with an even number, you are disadvantaged because then you can only do Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. And if you start with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, you could do Monday, Wednesday. So in those days, we had things like carpooling. The neighbors' kids who go to the same school with you, we all ride in the same car. When on the even day, you go on the even parents' car. On the odd days, you go on the odd parents' car. And it also, the carpooling also extended to people who were working on the island as well. Everybody would carpool. There was some sort of camaraderie and family bonding then in Lagos. These days, we're all cosmopolitan. We've imbibed, in my view, the wrong ideas about community. And I always tell people, Hillary Clinton says it takes a village to raise a child. So if Hillary in America can say it takes a village to raise a child, I think we also need to start to imbibe those things that kept us together as one. The family unit needs to be protected. And those are the kind of things that people would want to see here. The heritage here, the culture here, how we watch each other's back, how I can call the neighbor's child and say, buy me bread there, or buy me water there.
There won't be questions.
And there won't be questions because it took then the village to raise that child. Yeah. And I would see a neighbor's child do anything wrong. In fact, in those days, you were not only answerable to your parents, you would say, oh, Mr. Lagbaja is coming, everybody runs into their home. And I've heard stories of neighbors who would sleep in the neighbor's house and their parents know they're there and they're comfortable with it. So those are the unique things about us as a people that we also need to
inculcate
right now to let them know that we're a different species. Our heritage counts a lot for us. We love the family unit, and we want the world to see us as we are. So in all of these things, we cannot introduce the odd and even number anymore. Now the network of roads is larger. Now the train system is there, the blue line is there, the red line is coming back. Lag ferry is there with our waterways. Now you can ride from Ikorodu to Badore in 10 minutes. Ikorodu to Lagos Island in those days was almost like a day's journey. I remember when my dad died in 1975. We're from Ikorodu, and we had to go for the funeral in Ikorodu. We had gone the day before, but we had people who were coming for the funeral, coming from Lagos, and who didn't get to the funeral until the following morning. They all slept on the road because there was just this narrow one way in, one way out road into Ikorodu. And you know that in those days, the only way you could come into Lagos was coming through Ikorodu. So we have long passed all those days. So, I mean, government, we should say, has done. Lagos has grown. Lagos has grown, and Lagos is growing. Lagos is working.
All right, that's a sweet one from our guest today. Do not forget, she is the Honourable Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture in person of Toke Benson Awoyinka. I'll be right back. Let's stay on this.
To operations of the Blue Line in particular, we all know that we have publicized that the Blue Line is going to be an electrified rail system, and with the third rail system. What that means is that the electrification will be along the track. And for us, that means that it has no tolerance. If you want to cross from one side to the other, you must use the overhead bridges. This is a necessity for all of us to understand. We have, as a government, been very responsible, and we have fenced all along the alignment for the Blue Line to ensure that people do not cross it. But what we see time and time again is that people go there and they cut the fences and they run across. This is fine until we electrify. And we need to understand that this is not acceptable. Not because Lamata is saying don't do it, but because it is a matter of life and death. It is a health and safety issue. Anywhere in the world, this is the way it functions. And if we want to develop, we need to begin to understand that this is the way we're headed for a sustainable rail system that is good for emissions. Electrified rail is the way forward. And when your rail is electrified, then we must not interface with it. So we ask this, and we ask that the people be responsible and understand that it is mandatory that nobody crosses the tracks. We bothered to put pedestrian crossings. There's access for the physically challenged, and therefore we have no reason to cross the track. So we just ask that the people please respect this and respect the rails, because if we don't, we will find ourselves in very, very dire straits indeed.
Lamata, keeping Lagos moving.
Eko akete, ilé ọgbọ́n. Eko akete, ilé ọgbọ́n. Arọ́mọdé dẹ́ kó má má já o. Eko arọ́mísà lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́. Arọ́mọdé dẹ́ kó má má sá o. Eko arọ́mísà lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́.
Welcome back to this, your darling program, Lagos Transportation Agenda on your beautiful TV. We are still on the topic, tourism and transportation, the connectivity between the two. Yes, ma. I've heard about Agungu Festival in Kebbi, using the waterways as a means to beautify, to showcase tourism. Now, you made mention of the waterways. Should we be looking forward to things like that, transportation and tourism sector coming to give us a vibe of that? Because that is one of the beauty that keeps us as Africans. Should we be looking forward to that in the next few
Well,
months?
I know of the Argungu Fish Festival. The unique thing about Lagos and the beauty of Lagos is that Lagos is water. Lagos is surrounded by water. That's why they call it the state of aquatic splendor. So a lot of these things happen, like I said. You probably just got to Lagos or you just didn't grow up in Lagos. So in Lagos, we have something called the boat regatta.
Yes.
And a lot of people in those days would come up on the lagoon, on the seas, in the waterways of Lagos, and they would showcase what they have. The fishermen would showcase their canoes, their fishware. We're an aquatic people. The size of Lagos that is on land is less than what the water occupies. So if you want to go to the most beautiful parts of Lagos, you go by water. You want to go to the Lashe Beach, you want to go to the Badagry Creek and the rest of that side of Lagos, you want to go to Lekki and Ikorodu on the waterways. It is a beauty to behold. In October, we did the groundbreaking for the film city, and I must tell you that the view is breathtaking. It is sitting on a bed of land that overlooks and oversees the waterfront of Ejiri.
I've been there.
You've been there. And you know, they say in those days, it was a major commercial center, the market in Lagos then. So we're coming up with our boat regatta, hopefully on the 1st of April, on Easter Monday. We're speaking to all the stakeholders on the Kauri Creek. It's going to be taking place on the Kauri Creek. I'm not going to let too much out of the bag because I want them to look at it with suspense. But I must tell you that it is something that Lagosians are going to continue to yearn it for. We're going to make sure it's an event that becomes an international event that people are going to look forward to, like they look forward to the Dirty December. So this is going to be our April and Easter balls. So the boat regatta is coming up on the 1st of April, Easter Monday.
All right, she just said so much about most of the things I've been thinking, worried, and like every one of you out there too must have been worried, like, is Lagos going to come up with something? And now transportation sector and tourism sector are pulling something together. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your moment, for your time, and for your information. These are top of new knowledge, and we are grateful for your time, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
And do not forget to join us next week, same time, same station, on your darling TV program, Lagos Transportation Agenda, where you have a lot of information about what is happening in the transportation sector. All right, I remain your humble host, Shaba Moses. God bless you.